Hi everyone, I'm Laura from GoSimpli, and today I have a unilateral or like one-sided upper body strength workout using dumbbells. So even though we're only going to do one side, it's going to be one side at a time, so you will get both sides worked. So you're going to need a couple of dumbbells. I'm using an 8-pound and a 10-pound. You do what works best for you so that it's challenging, but that you can do hopefully most of the exercises. So I'm going to get my timer set and we'll get ready with our warm-up. Okay, we're just going to get started in our warm-up here. So let's start with a few shoulder rolls to the back. You can sort of march your feet if you want. I don't know, I feel bored sometimes when I stand still. If you get bored when you just stand still and move one part of your body, let me know in the comments below. Maybe it's just me who gets bored easily. Maybe I have ADHD and I never knew. Okay, and that's reverse, so we bring them forward. And these are my squeaky shoes. I don't know why I love these shoes. They fit so well, but they squeak. And it's like there's little mice running around my feet all the time. All I hear is this squeaking. Or like I'm stepping on balloons. Oh, awful noise. Okay, and then let's swing the arms across, open them up. So we are gonna get cardio as far as our heart rate will get up while we're weightlifting, but we're not doing any jumping, we're not doing any like squats or sort of lower body stuff that way. And then let's swing the arms up and down. You can bend your knees again a bit if you want. And as you can see, I'm still in this sort of transition phase. The room is getting done, I promise. I can even show you some stages. Maybe I should take some pictures and then show you sort of how it changed. But it is changing. And then let's do a few sort of deeper shoulder circles like this. And then let's go the other way. And then let's just do a reach. I love upper body workouts. When I work my upper body, I feel so strong. I don't know why. Actually, I do when I do my lower body as well. Maybe it's just weights in general that make me feel strong. Are you someone where when you lift weights, you feel like, oh man, sometimes after I feel invincible, like I can do anything. And then I go and lift a really heavy box and I'm like, okay, maybe not anything, but I can do a lot of things now that I've done some weightlifting. Okay, then we're just gonna bend over. I'm gonna go on a bit of an angle because I'm close to the wall here, and we're just gonna do some body weight flies here and open up that upper back a bit. So make sure you have a flat back when you bend over. You're not rounding, especially this upper part by the shoulders. You don't wanna be hunched like that. So pull those abdominals in. And then let's do sort of one in like a Y shape over your head, and then back to the fly. So again, sort of like Y like this, but bent over, and fly. Just really opening, there's gonna be a lot of shoulder work today, so we really wanna open up those shoulders. Oops, pardon me, hitting the wall. We gotta work with the space we have, right? Like, I know a lot of you at home don't have a dedicated workout room. Most people don't. So we just use the space we have, and sometimes that's just that little bit in our living room when we shove the coffee table aside, or sometimes it's just, you know, if we're sharing an apartment with other people, it's just sort of in the bedroom that we're in. So we just got to use the space that we can. Okay, so just sort of, you know, one shoulder and then the other here. Okay, excellent. So I know I said before that I was going to start my timer, and guess what? I didn't. So I'm going to take a quick pause here to start my timer and make sure I've got those weights. Again, I'm using an 8 and a 10. You do what works for you, and remember, we're doing everything one side of the body. Sometimes you can lift a little heavier when you're doing just one side at a time. So grab your things and meet me back here real quick. Okay, so I've got my dumbbell here. We're gonna start with like a front curl and then take it out and do a side curl. I'm gonna do the left side and do a few exercises and then come over to the right side. And the first 6 exercises are all standing. It's one circuit. We're gonna do that circuit 2 times through. Okay, so again, front curl and then bring it out to the side. It might not be perfectly out to the side. It might be sort of on a 45 out to the side. That's fine. So you're going through the motion nice and slow. You want to keep that elbow sort of close to the body. Okay, so see, my side isn't perfectly 100% out to the side. That's fine. Okay, and I've got my abdominals in firm. I've got my lower back supported. My knees are just slightly bent. They're just not locked. Okay? So we're doing these 45 seconds a piece with 15 seconds in between to sort of take a rest and regroup for the next exercise. You may see me, okay, so here's our rest. You may see me sort of dart right over to this spot. That's just where I have my weights, so I don't have to bend down to the ground to get them. So if you see me sort of darting out, that's just because I'm changing the weight. Right now I'm using my heavier weight. Okay, so here we're going to do a shoulder press and then a tricep extension. So bring it down, press up, tricep. I gotta make sure I don't hit my wall, but still, hopefully you can see what my arm is doing. Okay, so again, I should focus a bit. I want to try to have my elbow definitely, you know, more in line with my face, not too far out to the side. And same posture as before. Knees are just comfortable, they're not locked back. Pelvic girdle's in good alignment. I have that lower back supported, my abs pulled in. Okay, and now we're going to do those two exercises on the right side. So I'm just going to switch the weight over. I'm keeping the same weight, and now my other arm is going to get the work, and my left side can get a bit of a break. So again, front curl and side curl. So we'll go through that now and get the other side, and you'll notice that what's really excellent about doing unilateral movements, besides the fact that you can't have one arm sort of taking over, is my core has to work this whole time because I have an unbalanced weight. I'm carrying an extra 10 pounds on one side of my body. And my abdominals, my core, my back is like, wait a second, why? Like, I gotta do something here or we're gonna fall sideways. So they are really actually engaging. And believe me, this kind of movement, okay, so here's our rest. This kind of movement is better for building abdominal strength, especially functional strength, than any crunch down on the floor will ever do. Okay, so shoulder press to tricep extension. So I'm pressing up and then back behind me and then coming back down. Okay, so I'm here to tell you that you could never do a crunch again and still have extremely strong abs and core. Isn't that so nice to hear? Like, you do not need to do a crunch. There are lots of exercises we can do lying on our back that look like we might be doing, like getting into a crunch, but you don't have to crunch. You do not have to crunch, you know, those shoulders sort of up and towards like your knee, you know, when you're lying on your back, bent knees, and you do not need to do that. Okay, oh my goodness, I need to pause here. I made a grave mistake. I forgot I need 2 weights for this one, so give me 1 moment and I'll be right back with that. Okay, I'm back, 2 weights, set the timer back up. We're not even gonna edit that out. So what we're gonna do is a scapular squeeze, alternating, so we're only doing one arm at a time, but you know, it would be good to have a weight for each hand. Okay, so this is where we have those weights held out to the side, so I have dropped down to my lower weight, and you're squeezing behind you. So let me turn here and show you. So I'm squeezing those shoulder blades, or one shoulder blade at a time, in towards the other. So I'll turn back, and this is actually very heavy for me. So I'm going to do my best here. There may come a point where I need to drop down to no weight at all, especially on our second round through. So we'll just have to see how I do. So far I'm managing, but I'm listening to my body. I'm taking in those cues. My arms are definitely screaming at me. They're letting me know that they're there. Okay, excellent. And now we're going to do a reverse fly. So we need to bend over. And again, we're going to do one arm at a time. I'm going to go, I think I can move a little bit forward off my mat here so that I don't hit the wall. So I'm just going to lift one arm up and then the other arm up to the side. And if you weren't noticing that core working to stabilize you and keep you from sort of falling over before, you will notice it here. So what to focus on would be making sure that that belly button is staying pointed to the floor. You know, you don't want to open up into this huge rotation. Okay, now we're not doing the fly anymore. We're doing a different kind of exercise, which we need to be very careful with, especially someone like me who has osteoporosis. So I have that back nice and flat. And again, lifting out to the side. My glutes are squeezed. My abdominals are in control. Excellent. So now we're going to start that again. So I'm going to put these down. I'm going back to the left side. I need one weight. Again, pardon me running in and out. And we're doing the front and side curl on the left side. So front curl and side curl. Front and side. So we're doing all of those exercises that we just did one more time. Then we're going to go down and all of the second half of the workout is down on the mat. That's lovely, so we can sort of, you know, take a little rest, kind of. I mean, we're not really resting, but. So again, here I should have weight evenly planted between my left and my right foot. And my abdominals are working hard to keep my spine in straight alignment up and down. So I'm not leaning to one side or the other. Excellent. And so just take a little break. You can put your weight down if you want, grab a sip of water if you want. Next up is our shoulder press to tricep extension. So I'm going to move as close as I can to my wall so that hopefully you can see my hand. Okay, so press. Actually, I'm going to turn sideways. Then I don't have to worry about hitting the wall and I can get even closer. Okay. So we're pressing straight up over our head and then letting the weight go back behind us to get that tricep. So shoulder work, tricep work. And again, our abdominals are working hard to stabilize us. So this whole workout, our abs are not getting a break. The only time they're getting that break is in that 15-second rest if we put the weight down, but still, if you're still holding it, then again, it's keeping you from falling over to that side, so they're working the whole time. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to do those two on the right side. Okay. Take a little break, itch my nose. So front curl, side curl. Okay, so front and side. So sometimes we can find unilateral movement boring, but it is, the benefits are so strong, it's worth that little bit of boredom, and you're getting, again, like I said, you don't need to do those crunches. You're getting like 2 workouts in one here. You want to talk about saving time. We're getting those abdominals really working hard here to stabilize us all the way through, and that's excellent. It's so excellent for functional stability. Okay, so that's things in our everyday lives, keeping our balance when we're walking, especially if we end up walking on a slope or on some ice, or things where our abdominals have to work that much harder to keep us stable. Okay, so again, we have that shoulder press and triceps, so I'm going to turn like I did last time so I can get closer to the wall, and hopefully you can see my arm when it's fully extended all the way up. Okay, so it's up and back, and then back down. It's really good for ironing out muscle imbalances the other arm can't help. Even when you're using the weights in separate hands, often we stop the move as soon as the dominant side has gone through its full range of motion. And sometimes the other side lags behind just that little bit, and so it doesn't get quite the same range of motion because we rush it. So it's just, man, unilateral movement, very, very important. Excellent. I actually did a video where I talked about the benefits. So now I need to get those two weights again, sorry. The benefits of unilateral training and how important it is for our bodies, for our brains. Okay, scapular squeeze. I'm gonna see how far I can get with my weights. Who knows what I'll be able to do. And then we're gonna go down to the mat for the next 6 after, well, we have to do the reverse fly first, and then we're going down to the mat. The other really important thing about unilateral movement is it's not very often in life when both sides of our body are doing the same thing at the same time. Sometimes you're carrying groceries and you only have one heavy bag. You know, you're like, I'm gonna get it all in one bag and just carry one. Oh, these are getting heavy. And then you're completely off balance, right? So there's a lot of times in life where we're naturally off balance. Okay, now we're going to do that bent over fly again. So I'm going to come off forward just a bit on my mat so that I don't hit the wall. I'm gonna flat back, bend over, knees supporting me, one arm at a time. Making sure that my belly button is staying pointed down to the floor. I'm trying not to open up. It's just my arm that's opening up. It's not my torso. So when I've done this move, I'm going to bring my weights over beside me on the floor, and we're going to start with a chest fly and an overhead pull. It might take me a moment to get there, but if you need to pause and get your things and get to the floor, that's just fine. You can do that. We don't want to rush any of our movements. Okay, so I'm going to put these down, and I'm going to grab my one other weight and also put it here. So like I said, we're starting with the chest fly and overhead pull. So I'm going to lie down. I hope you can see me. Okay, so I'm going to fly out to one side and then over my head and out to the side. And again, just like when we were doing the reverse fly, you are really going to feel those abdominals. In fact, if you wanted to, say, step this up a notch, you could go up into a bridge, and now your abs are really working against that arm pulling out to the side. So your abs, you're not crunching at all, and yet they're getting an incredible amount of work. Okay, so I'm actually going to put this lighter weight down, and I'm going to grab my heavier weight, and we're going to do a wide and narrow press. So again, it's going to be out wide, bring it down, turn, and narrow. So we're just working the shoulder in a slightly different angle each time. And if you want a little extra abdominal work while you're here, you could put your legs up in tabletop. That is just fine. It'll definitely give just a little bit of extra tension there. And then after this, we're going to flip over into a plank. And we're going to do some rows. Okay, so I'm just going to roll a bit onto my side here. So for this, I'm going to get up. I'm going to show you 2 ways. I'm going to move those weights out. I'm going to stick with my heavier weight. So here's level 1, where you can be on your hands and knees and row, and that's just fine. Then level 2 would sort of be like to put one leg up for a little bit of a balance challenge. Okay, and level 3 would be go up in a plank and hold it. And then you want to try and keep those hips as best you can facing the floor. I don't have my mirror, so I can't really see how well I'm doing, but hopefully it's not so bad. But you know what, I'm going to go, because I can't see, I'm going to go to this medium, this sort of level 2 range, and do it from here, because I can feel that I'm in a good position here and I don't want to hurt my back. But you have to do what works for you. So now I'm going to do all of those things on the left side. So I'm going to grab my lighter weight for my chest fly with the overhead press. Uh-oh, you know. So I'm going to fly. Let's see, am I going to make it? I think I make it. Hopefully I don't hit that step. If I do, well, at least they're strong stairs. And I shouldn't break them. And again, if you want a little bit of extra abdominal challenge, you can push up into that bridge and you will definitely feel that. You don't need to do this. This is just extra for those of you who want a little something more. It's not necessary. You will still get the same arm workout regardless of holding the bridge. You're just adding for the abdominals here, and the glutes actually, because the glutes have to hold the position. Okay, and now I'm going to switch to my heavier weight for the narrow and wide press. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you start narrow or wide, just make sure that you alternate between the two. And I'm actually gonna rotate at the top this time. That feels a little more natural to me. So you can rotate at the bottom or the top. So by rotate at the bottom, I mean like get down to the bottom and then change from the wide to the narrow, or you can do it at the top. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So, and again, if you want a little bit of extra abdominal, you can put your legs up in tabletop for this one. And your abdominals are working because they don't want you to roll over sideways. I mean, I kind of want to roll over sideways and maybe just curl up and go to sleep. Okay, so I'm going to put the weight down and I'm going to get over to my hands and knees and show you that row on the right side. Okay, so again, you can do it from hands and knees. That's just fine. We're focusing on the arms here. You don't need to put in the extra abdominal if you don't want to. It's getting work anyways. You can do level 2, okay, where you have one leg lifted up. I'm lifting up the opposite leg is what I'm rowing. Or you can go to level 3, whereas your full plank and row from here. And again, because I can't see in my mirror and I feel twisted, but I don't know. Sometimes you feel it and that's not really what it is until you look and you're like, oh, that's not really what I was feeling. So I'm going to go back to this level 2 where I know I can be more stable. Okay, now we have to do that all one more time. So I'm going to put that weight there. I'm going to get my lighter weight for my fly. And I am going to go up to my bridge. I just feel like it today. So again, it's a fly and it's an overhead. We're going back and forth between the two, just getting different angles of that shoulder. And I have my glutes squeezed nicely underneath me to hold the bridge position. But again, that's extra. It's absolutely not necessary. Just adding a little bonus. I can't believe how quickly we are actually going through this workout. We are over 3/4 of the way there. Okay, I'm going to put down my lighter weight. And I'm going to switch it for my heavier for the narrow and wide press. And I'm going to do the tabletop again. So again, wide press and then narrow press. And I'm going to keep doing my turn at the top because it just feels natural for me. But you do you. You'll have to let me know in the comments below what unilateral movements you like the best. I'd like to do some more unilateral movements. I'd like to do a full body unilateral, so some upper body moves, some lower body moves. Maybe even I can manage some sort of cardio-based unilateral moves. And get them in there, mix things up a bit, keep things fresh and exciting for you. So let me know which ones you really like. Okay, and we're gonna go to that row. I'm gonna put that weight down so I can get up and get over more safely. Just push those out of the way. And I'm just automatically this time just gonna go to this level 2 position, but remember, you can definitely be down here. Or you can be up here. It's whatever your body is feeling like today. And know that some days you might be able to do the level 3 from the plank, and other days you're like, nope, today I'm on all fours. And that's fine. Our bodies react differently every day. We have different stresses every day. We don't sleep the same every single night. We don't eat the same every single day. Or gosh, I hope we're not eating the same every day. How boring. Okay, so now we gotta go back and start with that chest fly again on the right side. I don't know why I'm having trouble focusing this morning. Oh, I need my lighter weight. My timer went. I'm sorry. Okay, so fly out. Uh-oh, this time I am gonna hit that. Okay, let's move down a little bit. So fly and overhead. Fly and overhead. There we go. I got it now. I haven't had any kitties running in today. I think they're getting used to me taping in this weird spot now. Although it's like gorgeously sunny today. So I bet they're upstairs lounging by the patio door where the sun comes in, and I bet they are just soaking up some rays. Okay, and now I'm doing that narrow wide press. That was not a good way for me to get up. And I'm going to put my legs in tabletop for it. So push and push. And I'm going to change up the top. I always have to remind myself, again, I can't see in a mirror, so I'm trying to keep my knees sort of stacked over my hips. I don't want to pull them in too much like this because I'm not getting any abdominal work there. So push them out of it. So you should definitely feel some tension if you're holding them up. But again, our focus is the arms today. So you want your legs down? Put your legs down. You're still getting the same arms workout. I always feel so strong with presses. All right, and now it's time for those rows. I'm just going to push these way up here. At least on the floor, my weights push more easily. So we have all fours. We have one leg extended. And we have plank. Whichever is working for you today, okay? This is our last exercise. I'm going to go back here to keep both sides of my body the same, even though I'm working them separately. I want to balance it out. Okay, just a few more here. The last one. Oh, excellent job. Let's do a little bit of stretching. You can stand up, you can sit. I'm going to try kneeling, but sometimes my knees really hurt if I kneel too much on this floor. So just freestyle, sort of up and down, side to side. Sort of like fly them open without any weight. Okay, let's just do one circle on one side, alternate our circles, and then bring them back forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward. Excellent. And let's just bring one arm straight across. Sort of make sure you're getting a nice pull up near that shoulder. Oh, it feels so good at the end to stretch, to just be like, I'm all done, I'm done. Thank you, muscles, for working so hard. I just sat back on my heels here, so. Okay, so we'll switch it to the other side. Oh, it feels so nice. You can do these sitting cross-legged too. You can get right down on the mat. That is just fine. We have worked hard. And then let's do that overhead tricep extension. Doesn't matter which side, we're gonna do both sides. Again, we're pulling that right down between our shoulder blades there as best we can. A little bit of tension on that elbow where we're pulling down. Oh. Like I said, now I feel like Superwoman. I can go lift anything, and I'll go to lift. You know what's really heavy that I have to lift in my life? Cat litter boxes. We buy the big ones because it's way more cost effective to buy the big box of it. Oh my goodness. It's getting it in and out of the cart. I think the box is 22 kgs. Okay, so now I'm just going to push those arms out in front of me, interlace those fingers. I think it's 22 kgs. So I'm not really great at conversion. What is that, like roughly 50 pounds-ish? I don't know. Someone who's better at converting can let me know in the comments below what 22 kgs is. I think it's about 50 pounds, but I could be wrong. And then let's just flip those palms over and stretch out the other way. And it is putting it in the grocery cart, which is so deep. Getting it in is one thing, I can sort of drop it, but trying to lift that out, I can't. My back is like very angry at me if I try to do that. So now let's interlace those behind. So I always have to bring my husband. I'm like, Graham, we're going to buy kitty litter, come on. He's like, oh, great. But it's just, that is probably the heaviest thing that I lift in my everyday life is when I have to go and get kitty litter. And it is incredibly heavy. What, do you lift heavy things in your life? So let's now keep those arms behind you, but pull them around to one side, let them rest on your hip. And then just because it feels good, let your neck dip to the other side. Okay. Yeah, what do you lift that's heavy in your life? I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, I shovel snow as well because, you know, we live here in Canada, in Ottawa, and there's a lot of snow. In fact, even though it's in March, we just got a good 15 centimeters last night. I'm not very happy about it, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But I do, so let's switch to the other side. I do lift heavy snow, but I'm not sure what else I lift that's really heavy. My kids are too big to pick up now. I can't. They weigh, my son weighs probably more than I do now. So I can't pick them up. So I'm trying to think of what heavy things I lift. What do you lift? I'm sure there's something I'm not thinking of. I mean, a 10-pound bag of potatoes. Yeah, or flour, that's pretty heavy. Let me know what you lift in your everyday that's heavy in your everyday life and why weightlifting makes that easier for you. Awesome. So you can just shake that out. Thank you so much for joining me today and putting up with this sort of random space where I have to run in and out. I really appreciate you being patient with me while we go through this phase. It will be done soon and I can't wait to show you the new room. Give me a thumbs up if you like unilateral movements. Let me know again what are your favorite sort of unilateral movements so I can put together more workouts. I'm really proud of you for doing this one and I can't wait to see you in the next one.